Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Stephanie. I am a life and relationship coach. This week we're going to talk about the 5 signs that someone is love bombing you. So let's get into it. Before we get started, let's get into exactly what is love bombing. Love bombing is a toxic person's way of showing you affection. So this type of affection is their way to kind of like groom you, to make you fall in love with them, make you, or to hook you in this relationship so they can essentially abuse you. So these signs that I'm going to go over, just like note to self, none of this is real. None of this is genuine. This is not real affection. This isn't real intimacy. This isn't real, oh my God, they actually like me and that's why they're doing this. They genuinely want to have a relationship, the kind of relationship that I want with me. No, that's not the case here. This is fake. This is a show. This is unhealthy. There's reasons why they're doing what they're doing. And so let's get into these 5 signs. Sign number 1, words of affirmation. Every person is going to have a different love language, and this is going to be the way that you yourself really want to be loved. Oftentimes, this is also either the thing that you received the most of growing up, or this could be the thing that you never received and you're coming from that kind of void, that emotional wound that you haven't yet healed. And that's what you're really craving in relationships. So if you're craving words of affirmation, that you need someone to tell you that you're amazing, that you're the one, that I love you so much, that, oh my God, you're my soulmate, and that is what works for you, that's what's going to hook you, then that's what you're going, and regardless, you're going to hear that often in the beginning stages of dating someone who is narcissistic, because this is really what they're going to use. They're going to try to use all of the 5 love languages to kind of hook you. And words of affirmation, I've never met anyone like you, you're my soulmate, I didn't really love him, I actually really love you. All of these things that they know you want to hear and you're going to just eat up. Again, love bombing is all about manipulation. This is all about, I'm not being genuine with you. I'm not being vulnerable. I'm not being real. None of this is real. This is all fake. And this is my way to really get you entangled in this relationship. So number 2, for the 5 ways that someone can love bomb you, gifts, trips, those kind of things. So again, a love language is gifts, right? So nothing says Prince Charming like someone coming in and whisking you off to New York City for the weekend. Nothing says romance like spending money on you if that's something that you really value. And if there's a story behind, oh my God, he just took me away and now we're displaying all of this on social media and look at all these great pictures and oh my God, the rose petals were everywhere. And could you be with someone and they could do something nice and romantic for you? Absolutely. But if you're getting all of these 5 things, then you 100% are dealing with someone who's toxic and unhealthy and possibly narcissistic. Remember what we're saying here. We're talking about the beginning stages of dating. We're not talking about a year into your relationship. We're not talking about 30 years of marriage or anything like that. We're talking about that beginning phase where we're getting to know each other. None of these things should really be happening so quickly. Now, someone who is toxic and narcissistic, remember, gifts and trips and money and buying things and showering you, something like a little gift is, of course, a lovely gesture and a nice thought, but too much of something now will probably come from someone who actually really can't go deep with you. And so this is all they can really give you is just money. Is just gifts, because they're not going to be vulnerable with you. So you're going to have all this money thrown at you, but you're not going to still really know anything about the core of who this person is. Like, what do they struggle with? Like, what's their past like? That's what you're trying to do in the beginning stages of dating, is of course have fun and not try to take everything so seriously. But you are really interviewing someone. That's what dating is you getting to know a person so you can assess whether or not this is the person that you should be spending your time with. So someone who is narcissistic, toxic, emotionally unavailable, no one's behind the wheel, they can't provide those deep forms of connection with you. All they can really provide is giving you things, is buying you the Burberry coat or whatever that looks like, because they can't give you anything else other than just throwing money at the problem or throwing money at you. A lot of this you're going to eat up. In the beginning, you're going to feel like this like whirlwind and this romance and this Prince Charming or this like woman that I've always dreamt of. And you're going to get kind of caught up a little bit in this. But most people who might be a little codependent and they're definitely coming from some wounds but aren't completely unaware of this stuff, you're going to start to want more from the relationship. And this is when you're going to start to learn that this person can't really give you more than what they're giving you, which is the words, but the words aren't backed up by any action. When the gifts, but again, the gifts aren't backed up by any action or you emotionally being there for me. And so when you start to learn emotionally what someone is capable of doing, that's when you start to put the pieces together. Now, the next sign that someone is love bombing you is all of the attention that this person is giving. And from me, this is 100% a red flag. If you are single and you're just by yourself and you feel like you have a great life, you 100% may want to meet someone someday and have a committed relationship and possibly get married and have children or whatever that looks like for you, but you have a full life. When you have a full life, you don't just give up that life just because now you met someone, and especially someone brand spanking new. So, but if you come from that codependency, then all of this attention that you're getting, the text, ton of text messages, but again, you're not really meeting up with this person and you're not really on the phone and actually having intimate conversation where you start to really get to know each other and you're vulnerable with each other and you share about each other's days in those real intimate ways. That's not happening. You're getting surface level attention. You could also get the attention where they are on the phone with you and they are making the effort and all they want to do is be with you. And you could 100% be smitten with someone and get excited and want to start spending a lot of your time with that person. But if you're healthy, you're always going to take a step back and realize like, okay, my life's starting to get a little off balance. And we can all go through those phases where we're working too much. We're spending too much time with a partner. We're spending too much time here. We're doing too much of this and we're trying to find more balance in our life. So when you're getting all of this attention thrown at you, just try to kind of rein it back in and take more control over not necessarily what they're doing. They might still want to come at you and spend all their time with you, but this is where you get to actually start slowing things down. And when you start slowing things down, then you can see how this person's going to react to that boundary. So the next sign that someone is love bombing you is the relationship's going to move from 0 to 60. I mean, we're going to go super fast. We're going to have sex right away. We're going to be meeting friends and family right away. We're going to start living together right away. There's not going to be a real, let's slow down and like learn about each other and who are you? And there's none of that. We don't need to get to know each other. Like, I just want to rush. Because now if you're a person that's coming from that codependency and that lack and you want to be in a relationship and you don't have a great life and you think that this person's going to give it to you, and if you want to have babies right away and you're just at that stage and you don't want to wait any longer for really the right person, you want to make this person be the right person, then going from 0 to 60 is exactly what you want. You want to be like rushing, and you actually find this exciting and you find this romantic and you find this as, again, this whirlwind Cinderella story of like, oh my God, we met and we just fell madly in love. It was love at first sight. And then we got engaged and, we got married right away. And like, oh my God, now we have this beautiful family. And could that happen? Yeah, possibly. I do think it's a very, very small percentage of people, but could it? And what I mean by small percentage of people is it healthy? Is it a healthy relationship, or is it just an unhealthy relationship and now we're stuck and now we're with the wrong person and we didn't think about it and now we're not happy? Those epiphanies won't happen until many years later. And now you're knee deep in a lifestyle that you have, but really what you have is the surface level of what it is that you really wanted. You don't have the intimacy, you don't have the connection because you're not with someone who's healthy and has the ability to give you that type of relationship. And you might have saw it early on, but maybe you didn't because you didn't want to see it. Because the job description and what you were really looking for wasn't at the forefront. What was at the forefront is you having all of this: the life, the house, the money, the family, the kids. But the substance underneath all of that is not what you want. And usually that's when people start to wake up. So the last kind of love bombing sign, and really this is probably the most confusing one, is where the person appears to be healthy, where they really see you for the first time. So this is where all you've ever wanted is for someone to see you, to understand you, to be there for you. And so you'll get bits and pieces of the things that you've always wanted, but you're not going, how should I say this? you're not raising the bar high enough. You're still putting the bar really, really low because you never had it at all. So if you've never had anything, I just give me a little, right? And so I'll start to get a little bit of it. And then, like I said, years later, after being in this relationship, you realize, no, that's not enough. No, that's not enough. Really, this is where the bar should have been. But because we didn't place it here in the very beginning, because we just wanted the bare minimum, then that's what you got. You got the bare minimum. This is where the person will start to kind of give a little bit of empathy, and they might ask you questions and they might be inquisitive. Here's the red flag. Do you know anything about them? Do you know where their struggles are? Are they vulnerable with you? How do they handle stress? Like, do you know their insides? Like, you might be comfortable with yourself to say, I want you to see me, and here I am. And you let yourself be vulnerable with someone, but is that ever reciprocated? Do you really ever know what's going on inside the mind of that person? If that's no, if that answer's a no, then there you go. Now you're dealing with someone who's emotionally unavailable. So I hope this video has helped you understand some key signs of love bombing and whether or not you are with someone who is love bombing you, or whether or not you're dating someone who could possibly be toxic and unhealthy. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe down below, and I will see you next week.